I shouldn't, with my thoughts, promote the approach of others, making strategies. I shouldn't try to control such a perfect and beautiful field that should be driven by the lightest, most beautiful and authentic sentiment. Hello, everyone. This morning we enter a topic that, at first glance, might seem sad, a heavy topic. However, I believe it should attract and interest us because it can help us immensely. The theme is feeling lonely. How does the feeling of loneliness develop? The feeling of loneliness that we can harbor starts from far, but relatively, because the steps that lead us to host in us the feeling of loneliness, and especially to suffer from it, are few. These are two separate things. We're talking about hosting it. When the feeling of loneliness takes a stable dwelling in our soul or inner life. This is the result of an involuntary push forward and advance in our careers, as we would say, of seeking the next person. If we could have the next person within our skin, it would be a push that seems exaggerated, but in some cases, it is real. And we, if we could, would never want to free ourselves from certain people we really want. Is the best and safest way to not free ourselves. It would become incorporation. So, to incorporate these bodies, these gazes, those who are close to us, who want us and tell us yes, and who are there and stay with us. We are not alone. So, this is the backstory. So the backstory is advancing in this career of desire for the next person. Desiring the next person is legitimate. We are naturally inclined to desire others, to desire the next person, and thus to welcome the presence of the next person. This is a natural push, but be careful. Where does something begin that could instead transform a natural tendency into something that is preparing to attack? There's a move that we make because we said we desire the next person, that the next person is close to me, and that I am close to him. It's natural, it's beautiful, it fulfills, completes our life. But here's where the fracture begins, where a space, a fissure, a tear, something that cracks and makes room for something else begins. We have said other times that it only takes a moment of submission for a poison to flow into a person's life, into the life of the soul, which spreads to the entire river of our inner life. So, I want you to focus for a moment to understand how the first drop of poison enters, how a fissure is created. A crack means there is an inclination moved by doubt. If a person doubts the perfection that would remain even in the absence of an important completion, like the presence of the other who becomes close to us, to our heart, both physically and emotionally. So if I doubt that in the absence of this, or when it's not there and we don't know when it will be back and thus be there again, everything will become a shattered vase, and then a whole series of behaviors that lead us to exaggerated behaviors, exaggerated thoughts might break through. It means that I think too much to obtain this, which for some people is absolutely natural. I shouldn't, with my thoughts. Favor the approach of others, make strategies. I shouldn't try to control such a perfect and beautiful field that should be driven by the lightest, most beautiful, authentic, and good sentiment. Because what is good is light and gentle. I come to life as a little one, and gradually I grow in a reality that is already structured in a certain way. Which has laws, architectures, aesthetic appearances, colors, forms. Everything is perfect, so that thought that distrusts the created, that doubts, is to be avoided. Doubt has its importance, but if it initially begins to crack this initial attitude, this relationship that we call stage 0, in which fear has not entered because distrust has not entered, fear is the second moment. And after fear, everything becomes more dutiful, more laborious, and it makes us become different, and it makes us perceive ourselves as different from others. So, how we are not in origin, unfortunately because of what I described, we will always distance ourselves and they will always reject us. Because it happens that, being now unnatural, being no longer the man I was and that continues to be, but that cannot emerge because there is everything that I have described, we will live an experience of separation. We will feel this separation, and at this point there will be. I don't know if I explained myself, but after I ruined the painting, I marked the canvas, rather I cut it. So when I see that a person decides to no longer be with me, and then I have a doubt, an observation. However, I make it, it does not seem indifferent to me. I see who chooses to not approach. I'm not singing a tragic anthem, understand. I'm not making tragedies, but observing. You friends of the channel, look and see that not everyone has learned or have come home, where friendship songs, party songs, wedding party songs are sung. Not everyone has now become a little indifferent. Our society lives a tension, a permanent dissatisfaction, because the viruses that lead to indifference are very widespread and have infected hearts. The advice, therefore, is not to worry. Let others approach and distance themselves. Rather, you will celebrate more when they return. You will not be grumpy. You will not be hardened. You will celebrate because he has returned. He came back when he saw that you were there. He saw your beauty. He saw your person. All people are beautiful. I'm not just saying it. I'm affirming it because it's like that. Everyone is different. Everyone brings a symphony of a set of notes, colors, and scents that is unique. So celebrate when they return. Do not make a tragedy when they move away. This is for the beginning. Then, for slightly more advanced cases, we will make a separate video to treat feelings of loneliness that have stabilized and that deeply distress. Please, add something that I did not say. Send me something that I have not discussed. Bring something from your experience, because this will allow me to tune in, to connect, to be more of a friend, closer, and also more useful to you. I hope it is not only useful, but also makes you love yourselves a little more. See you soon.